Just seen Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and nothing prepares you for this. I cheered, I shouted, I fist pumped the air, I cried, I stood and cheered. It's absolutely everything that you hoped it was going to be. I'm so proud to be in it, and I can't wait for you to see it.
Hello and welcome to the Place to Be Reviews. I'm rEpReSeNtAtIoN right here with all of yous. So strike up the band, gather everybody around, because we're talking some Rise of Skywalker. You know it. It's time. It's 14 days away, kids. So, are you ready? Might ruin Star Wars forever. Now, I think Ryan Johnson already did that. This is from Chris Smith. Today, 10:36 a.m., so a couple hours ago. A huge Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker leak a few days ago revealed 6 amazing cameos. The film's finale, as well as some heartbreaking deaths we can expect in this final movie of the trilogy that's rumored to have multiple reshoots. All of this pales in comparison to what might be the absolute worst thing about the leak, something that will not only ruin The Rise of Skywalker, but also the original Star Wars trilogy. No, they can't do that. It'll ruin, well, the sequel trilogy's garbage, so it's not going to ruin it any farther. Like I said, I'm not a boycotter. I have my reasons. I'm going to see this movie. I really had no desire to, but something came up. It's a family thing, so I'm going to go. I've warned my family member, which I've talked about before, is my mom, because she took me to see Return of the Jedi in 1983. This might be the last Star Wars movie we ever have a chance to go see in the theater together. And I say Star Wars with air quotes because I told her she's going to have to sit there and endure my critique during the movie, because I'm not going to be able to not talk or probably laugh out loud at how stupid this is going to be. So let's move on here. Before we proceed, you should know that this massive spoilers will follow below. They will ruin your Star Wars experience in 2 weeks from now. That's assuming this huge leak is accurate, of course. Oh god, Inverse might... Well, I'm not relevant enough for Inverse to attack me like they did Doomcock. So, before we get this huge Rise of Skywalker leak, I'll give you one more chance to avoid spoilers. Just enjoy the news. The newest Star Wars TV spot... No, we're not watching this spot. The worst thing about The Rise of Skywalker might be the resurrection of Palpatine. Yeah. Because it might seriously damage the original Star Wars trilogy. According to the 4chan leak, the dark side of the Force in the new trilogy is controlled by Palpatine, the Emperor who hasn't really died. He cloned himself after having foreseen what would happen with Luke, Darth Vader, and the Empire. And he's been working behind the lines in the past 30 years from the leaker, to win. Rey arrives on Exegol to confront Sheev, that's Palpatine. Sheev is attached to his life support chair. Sheev talks to Rey, nearly reciting word for word his speech from Luke from Return of the Jedi. That's cringy. Sheev confirms that Rey is his granddaughter. I'm just going to call him Palpatine, because the character denounced the name of Sheev because it was his father's name, and he hated it because he hated his father for his lack of upward political ambition. He got complacent in his, but that's from the Darth Plagueis novel. Sheev confirms that Rey is his granddaughter. Oh, I think I've talked about this multiple times, but this just never. It's so funny. Sheev confirms that Rey is his granddaughter, but doesn't go into detail about which one of her parents was his offspring. Rey asks Sheev how he's still alive if Vader killed him 31 years ago. This is an alteration from the Kylo meeting Sheev scene, which I'll get to this in a minute. Plot twist: Sheev reveals that he's the real one. The Sheev who died in Return of the Jedi was merely a clone. Sheev knew that Vader would ultimately betray him, so he prepared several clones in advance for such an occasion. While he hid himself on Exegol, tricking the galaxy into thinking he was dead. The Knights of Ren are also implied to be clones. During this revelation, another clone walks in, appearing to be far younger than the current Sheev. This clone is played by none other than Matt Smith. Pause it here for a moment. Yeah. Sheev confirms Rey is his granddaughter, but that doesn't go into detail. We see the younger Sheev, which is rumored to be played by Matt Smith. Now, the same leaker notes how incredibly stupid that all sounds, and it does. Now, first of all, let's see here. This plot twist with, that being a clone. Now, this is Disney decanonized the EU years ago, and now this is plucked right from the Dark Empire. And if I really wanted to, I'd pause it and walk over here and grab my unboxed Dark Empire Sheev Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine clone figure that I have. But no, this is stupid. And there's a rumor that Rey easily kills the Matt Smith clone, and then he just brings another one out. I mean, it's almost like a bad Three Stooges gag. The same leaker notes how incredibly stupid that all sounds. As a side note, this is easily the worst part of the entire movie based on the current cut, as it implies that Palpatine willingly allowed his empire to fall. It directly negates Vader's sacrifice and made everyone post Return of the Jedi look like massive idiots who get bamboozled. Yes, it does. It gets even worse. The Rise of Skywalker will apparently deliver his final defeat, which is extra puzzling. How in the world he was unable to foresee this also. On one other mind-boggling plot issue might be the way Palpatine pulled the strings from the shadows. He allowed the Empire to lose, yet he retained enough influence and power over massive economies to develop impressive starships that would take on an already weakened resistance. And he did some of that while hanging on to life by a thread, given he's hooked up to machines that are helping keep him alive. Sheev says execute Order 67 through a hologram. The Sith armada of Star Destroyers mounted with Death Star cannons arises from the water. I can't make this shit up. This is literally, I'm reading this verbatim. Leia and Hux join forces and assemble the Resistance fleet. They engage the Sith forces over Exegol. They're just making a mockery of this. A Sith fleet. Okay, that's fine, but they're just going to... Oh, here we go. Okay, now we're going to talk about this because I'm going to mention these two characters. Jana and Finn lead a cavalry aboard General Pride's flagship to disable it, as regular ships can't destroy it for some reason. So ships can't fucking destroy this ship, but a bunch of fucking retards on space horses can. Oh my god. Oh my god. The autism is strong, I swear. They must take out the flagship in order to send the Sith fleet into disarray. Fan engine, kill Pride, and take out the flagship. Oh, so they cut back, rumored to have cut back Sheev Palpatine's on-screen time in this movie to 12 minutes in order to be more inclusive and have more time for Finn and Jana and Rose and Poe, I believe. So yeah, you were thinking that you were going to get, they cut it back in the second act, like his screen time way back in the first and second act. So the third act is basically, we get the majority of his screen time, I believe, of the whopping 12 minutes. That's less screen time than Captain Marvel got in Endgame. Okay, and on one hand we have a long-lived, celebrated, awesome character, and the other we have Captain Marvel. So I mean, this is, you see what I'm saying, just these parallels. And so they're ending the sequel trilogy, so they need to cut out Palpatine, and this is under the guise of Kathleen Kennedy. This is under her orders to be more inclusive and diverse. So they have to include these new characters of Finn and Poe, or not Finn and Poe, but Jaina and Finn more, and cut out Palpatine because, nobody wants to see Palpatine, but we have to be diverse and inclusive with these new characters, even though they're going to be one-off characters, and because they're not going to continue this saga's over. So why? What's the point? Why wouldn't you just have your big baddie in the movie more? The one that's going to make the money. I don't see kids running out clamoring to buy Jaina action figures. Most of these are peg warmers, man. I mean, and this is nothing against diversity and inclusion because I'm all for it. But I mean, you're having a movie centered around a 31-year-old character who's a mastermind. He survived on life support for 31 years, amassed this huge Sith armada of all these Star Destroyers, millions of troopers and personnel to man these things. Not to mention that, which he did from life support, clinging to life. 31 years he's been working on this, and you're going to give him 12 minutes of screen time so you can include two characters that nobody cares about They could have, but they don't, riding space horses to take down a fucking Star Destroyer. This is what you're giving us. And then this one doesn't even talk about the fact that the leaks before said that Rey, basically after Kylo Ren was killed by the Emperor, thrown off a cliff or something, Rey kills Palpatine one-on-one. I mean, Luke couldn't do it. Vader couldn't do it. Yoda couldn't do it, but the Amazing Wonder Rey can, because she's just the bestest ever. So yeah, this is... Let's see, somehow he made Death Star destroyers, and the Empire is still not able to win. Then again, if destroying the leading ship is enough to take them out of commission, then Palpatine really has no place being the leader of whatever he's supposed to be leading. But wait, it gets much worse. Oh, here it is right here. Apparently, Palpatine is so powerful that he can destroy starships in space with Force lightning, as Rey will also do. By the way, wait, what? But while he's able to wreck ships in space, he can't handle Rey, who becomes powerful enough to finally kill him. Yes. Sheev cackles and shoots out Force lightning to disable the entire Resistance fleet, which he can do. He has actually the power to conjure Force storms, which is from the EU, which is actually really cool. But this is just... This doesn't even sound good. I mean, if it was a better movie, I still wouldn't want to see him come back because he died in Return of the Jedi. Apparently, Palpatine is so powerful he can destroy space, but Rey will also do so. Okay, she cackles, shoots lightning, disables the entire Resistance fleet. The Millennium Falcon gets blown up. Leia, Lando, Chewie, 3PO, and R2 die. This is meant to be the saddest part of the movie. Rey and Kylo try to fight off Sheev. Sheev kills Kylo with Force lightning and sends him into the abyss. This causes Rey to get angry and channel every Jedi ever. He just said Rey channels every Jedi ever. Sheev shoots lightning at Rey, but she deflects it back at him. Sheev blows up, dying once and for all. What? Wow, who? Do they have monkeys throwing shit at a wall? This is... If this is even half of this is real. I mean, come on. Like, who the fuck thinks this is good? Like, Rey then shoots a torrent of lightning into the sky and disables the rest of the Sith Armada. The remaining Resistance ships finish them off. Victory ensues and everyone cheers for Rey. Oh, fuck me. This has got to be real, because that just sounds like Kathleen Kennedy interjecting herself into the story as Rey. This makes such little sense. It's absolutely embarrassing. As was the case before, we can all hope at this point that these leaks are wrong. Otherwise, the rise of Skywalker will absolutely ruin Star Wars for so many people. It's not going to... Okay, so this is where the weirdos and the Reylos and the sequel trilogy defending blue check marks on Twitter and the SJWs all think that it ruined your childhood, you man baby. No, it's not going to ruin my childhood. It's not going to ruin Star Wars for me. Because I hate Disney Star Wars, except, like I said, I'll pat Disney on the back for The Mandalorian. I liked it. Episode 5 was great. Chapter 5 was great. I'll be talking about that tonight. But this is just utter shit. Sheev cackles and shoots out Force lightning to disable the entire Resistance fleet. The Millennium Falcon gets blown up. Okay, now, Rey and Kylo fight off Sheev. Sheev easily kills Kylo. And then Wonder Rey channels every Jedi. Look at this. Rey causes Rey to get angry and channel every Jedi ever. And she blows him up. Now, this sounds like something from UHF, where Weird Al Yankovic was playing, Rambo, and he just kept shooting everybody and they blow up. This is exactly what this sounds like. I mean, just a parody of itself. And like I said, this is just asinine. If these leaks are right, oh God, I cannot. You're going to get a live review for me at around 10:45 p.m. Eastern on probably the Saturday night this comes out. I don't know if I'll make it to a Friday show, but Saturday definitely. Probably Friday though if I can, because we don't have a live show that night I'm on. So I'll be doing. All right, let's jump over here to this article on Variety now. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Finn and Poe aren't boyfriends, but J.J. Abrams hints at LGB alphabet people representation. Let's just listen to this brief little clip here from Jar Jar before we move on.
What I love about Finn and Poe is that they are as daring as they are and as brave as they are and everything, that they're also
stunning brave.
They're vulnerable and they're unsure. And their relationship, for me, frankly goes far deeper than a romantic relationship. It is a deep bond that these two have, not just because of the sort of trial by fire in which they met, but also because of their willingness to be as intimate as they are, as afraid as they are, as unsure as they are, and still be bold and still be daring and brave. I wasn't surprised by any reaction, but I was heartened that people identified that this was the kind of relationship that I frankly don't know how often you see men behaving in this way. There was an absolute natural...
Okay, this is Adam B. Very, who used to write for BuzzFeed. Striking a lightsaber into the hearts of Star Wars fans, it appears that a romance between Poe and Finn will not materialize in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. But that does not necessarily mean there won't be any alphabet people representation in the final film of the Skywalker saga either. The Star Wars fan community latch onto the notion of a romantic connection. No, the weirdos on Twitter, okay, they came up with these shippers, these Raylos, and these fucking weirdos with hashtags like Finn Poe and Storm Pilot. Who the fuck are these people? These are the people with pronouns in their goddamn bios, a blue check mark, and a sense of moral superiority over everybody else because they talk down their nose and virtue signal. You know what? If they want to have gay characters in a movie, awesome. But just make it organic, not weirdo fanfic and ugh. These fanfic people are just fucking weird. These are weirdos. Speaking with Variety in the Rise of Skywalker press junket on Tuesday, however, Oscar Isaac expressed regret that the natural chemistry between Poe and Finn in The Force Awakens was not explored in an overtly romantic way. Oscar Isaac, who are you fooling, bro? Who are you virtue signaling to? Come on. I kind of hoped and wished we would have taken it further in other films, but I don't have control, said Isaac. It seemed like a natural progression. Like, are you reaching out for roles in future movies? And in the case of the LGBTQ community, it was important to me that people who got to see this movie feel like they're being represented in the film, said Abrams. So without spoiling the film, Variety asked, does that mean there will be a queer character in The Rise of Skywalker? I will say I'm giving away nothing about what happens in the movie, Abrams replied with a smile. But I did just say what I just said, which is mystery box. No pun intended there. But yeah, that's without going too much more into this. That's this article here. Let's jump over here, bounding into comics. Talk about a little box office. This is report. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Advanced ticket sales, quote, not overly robust. This is from yesterday. John F. Trent. A new report details that Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker advanced ticket sales are not overly robust. Deadline reports advanced ticket sales are strong, but not overly robust. They clarify, stating, meaning in the way that they were for the 2015's Force Awakens, $247.9 million, and Last Jedi's $220 million. $27 million drop over 2 years because Last Jedi was trash. There's the amazing Wonder Ray. In fact, Deadline reports an average estimate for the film is a $205 million opening weekend. However, one tracking firm estimates it could only bring $175 million. The Hollywood Reporter would reiterate Deadline's reporting notice that the film is set to open to at least $175 to $200 million in its domestic debut over December 20th to 22nd weekend. However, the Hollywood Reporter would attempt to spin the low forecast, saying they're on par with early forecasts for The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. So yeah, the shill media, as Odin said, is out in full shill mode over this right now. As for the Hollywood Reporter's spin, the facts don't actually match up. Box Office Pro predicted Star Wars: The Last Jedi would bring in $215 million at the opening weekend. That's $15 million more than the high-end projection. The Hollywood Reporter gives Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. That's a significant change and not on par with the Last Jedi forecast. As for The Force Awakens, Collider reported the box office tracking for the film was $225 million. That's $25 million more than The Rise of Skywalker. But maybe more importantly is the new predictions are lower than the long-range prediction made by Box Office Pro back in October. They predicted the film would make between 185 and 225 in its opening weekend. Losing 25 million on the top end is not a good sign for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm actually going to see this opening weekend because I have, I said I'm taking my mother to see this. They're getting $7 actually, they're $14 from me total. So, it is what it is. I never said I was boycotting it. So I'm just, it's not going to be good. If we go back, look at those leaks, they're just, if those are, like I said, if half of those are true, this is not going to be a good movie. This is an absolutely muddled mess. And I don't think it's going to be very good. I have no faith in J.J. Abrams. I have no faith in his, in the writers of this movie. I have no faith in the production. I have no faith in Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy. And you'll say, but Pete, you like The Mandalorian. Well, that's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau with probably very little involvement from Kathleen Kennedy on that. Because those are two trusted, well, their problem is they're men. And they're white. Ooh, she probably hates that. But, really, this whole thing with them cutting Palpatine's screen time down to include Rose Tico and Finn and Jaina more, it's just ridiculous. You've got, or Zori Bliss too as well. Let me throw her in there too. They said they want to include Zori Bliss more because those Zori Bliss figures and those Jaina figures and those Finns and Rose Ticos are flying off the shelves, aren't they? Yeah, go to Ollie's and look and see how many are left on the shelves. I just went to Walmart and had to pick up some groceries, and me and my boy walked down the toy aisle, and the Star Wars section is so small and barely stocked, and that's not because they've sold everything. It's because they barely had any product to begin with. There's a ton of Star Wars Lego stuff, but it's all original trilogy. There was like a couple sequel trilogy sets, but they were all originals. So they know what sells and what doesn't. It's laughable that they think they can just keep force feeding this. But like I said, this movie it'll probably clock. I would be shocked if it didn't hit 200 million opening weekend. I'd be happy if it didn't. I'd be happy if it was like the 180, 175 mark. But the normies and the weirdos will go see it. And then, like I said, you'll have your people like me who begrudgingly go to watch it. But like I said, I've been talking about it enough on my channel. I'm going to start doing more Star Wars videos. We got 14 days until it comes out. I will be dropping a video at least once every other day about Star Wars. I'm going to start doing some cool kind of a countdown to Festivus for Seinfeld too. So that's all coming ahead. But yeah, so the box office tracking on this, they said this article says not overly robust. What would you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you think this is going to make opening weekend. Are you going to see this? What do you think about the leaks? Let's have a discussion in the comments. I think, like I said, these leaks, we've heard these from multiple sources. They've been reported on multiple times, and they really haven't changed that much as far as like if you've seen, if you heard one, it hasn't been like amended or anything. So, I would, and I can believe everything that they cut down Palpatine's screen time to include, their checkbox characters more. Because that's what they are. They're just box checking characters. This whole thing with Finn and Poe and the gay thing. It's not a big deal if they were gay characters. If you write them as gay, cool, awesome, that's great. So if gay people, and it's funny too because you look at comment threads on some of these articles, and you look at the comments from the actual people who are being represented. Like I read through some on one of these articles about these two being in a relationship. And the gay people in the comment thread were against it because they thought it was pandering, and it was like a half-assed attempt at pandering. So I find that hilarious. Honestly, that you're trying to virtue signal this community, and they want none of it. So, I'm sure there's some that are. It's probably a split, but okay. Like I said, just do it right. Don't be like, oh, well, and tease around about it and act like it's this big fucking thing. Because you guys are always the ones saying, it's 2019. How can you say that? Clutch my pearls. And it's so funny, too, because these weirdos and these identity politics people are always acting like, the people that don't like it are the pearl clutchers. You're the ones that are clutching your pearls because you're the one offended because you're not, you don't see the 0.000 0.1%, you know, of a tenth of a 100% represented in something. So you take to Twitter and you shriek and you about it. And this is exactly what these people are, that they're trying to pacify. But that's a non-existent, non-paying customer base. Like I said, the amount of people like that will go see this movie are slim to none. It just is what it is. They don't spend money. They're not going to go out and see your movie. So, but they'll sure talk about it on Twitter, you know, and that's what these people care about, because they're like, oh my God, they're talking about us on Twitter. We're trending. They're hashtagging us negatively. You know, it's so stupid. These SJWs are weird. And this movie's going to be a shit show. And is it me, or, like I said, I think Daisy Ridley's very attractive, but right here, she just kind of looks like Michael Jackson. Rose Tico's like, I don't even know why I'm here. Kelly Marie Tran seems like a wonderful lady. Anthony Daniels is like, what the fuck? John Boyega doesn't want to be there. Oscar Isaac is like, Jesus Christ, I was Apocalypse at one point. And is this what's her name? Felicity Huffman or whatever her name is playing Zori Bliss. Yeah, I think that's her name. I don't know. Kerry Russell. I'm sorry, Felicity Huffman. They kind of look alike, right? You know, those basic white girls. They just kind of look alike. She kind of reminds me of Natalie Portman too. They're just like, they're cookie cutter. Ray, you know, her, you know, Kerry Russell, Natalie Portman, they just seem all like cookie cutter. Felicity Johnson, or Felicity Jones, is that her name, that played Jyn Erso in Rogue One. I like Rogue One, but Jyn Erso is wooden. She was such a non-compelling character. I mean, she had her moments, but overall, just the presentation of that movie and the battle scenes are what made it good. And of course, the reshoot at the end with Vader, but I digress. This whole thing, the Wayfinders, I'll show you a picture of the Sith dagger that Rey looks out into the sea. And this is going to be ridiculous. So what do you guys know? Let me think in the comments below. Be sure to smack that like button for me. We're up to 123 subscribers at the time of this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Help us grow, because I want to start providing some extra special content for you guys. So I need help to grow. So please consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you. Remember, folks, tonight, 8:30 Eastern, I'll be on Raiders of the Lost Flicks live, giving you a review of The Irishman. That's right, Martin Scorsese's Netflix movie with Pesci and De Niro and Pacino, and yeah, it had a hell of a cast. It was great. So yeah, I'll be reviewing that. But be sure, go over to Facebook. We got a Facebook group, private group, the official Place to Be Reviews fan page. You can join that group. We got admins, get you vetted, get you in. Enjoy that. Also, the Place to Be Reviews page. And just follow that. We post links to all the videos, live streams there. What else? Oh, yeah, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Place to Be Reviews. I'm Etep Wakuian of The Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and my God, The Rise of Skywalker sounds like a mess. Tell me what you think in the comments below.